Hey everyone, Sean Clement here, and I want to introduce you to somebody who's been extremely important in my development as a teacher. Her name is Gabrielle Wolf, and she is a PhD in sports science. And together with many of her colleagues, including one who by the name of Rebecca Luthwaite, who's at the University of USC, she's a PhD in kinesiology. And for the last 2 decades, both of them have been pioneering how we learn motor skills as humans on this planet. And the reason why I'm attracting your attention to this particular book, it's called Attention and Motor Skill Learning. The best way to sabotage your round of golf is to say, what did I do wrong? And what body part do I need to fix? That is right now, that is the bane of our existence insofar as golf learning and golf instruction is concerned. So you hit a shot, it didn't go the way you wanted to, so then you go, well, why did that happen? What did I do wrong? What was the... So remember what I said to you about last week, did you stay with your shot? So the last thing that goes through your mind, so I'm going to do my little fade from red to green again. I'm going there. I got my setup that matches the picture. I'm going to feel a nice low effort whip in that direction, and I'm going to stay with that. It's going there, it's going there. It just went there. The last thing that went through my brain when I felt my release in that direction is, I'm going that way. My mind was on this side of the ball all the way to the bitter end. So that would be a 1 out of 1 on the first hole for me. Now, the first thing you want to ask yourself when you don't pull off a shot that, when you pull off a shot that was less than desirable is, did I stay with my picture? And you go, hey, did I really stay with that sucker? Nope. No, I blacked out. Something distracted me and I wasn't able to. So there's nothing else for you to look at. Because if you gave up on your target, well, for the brain says, we're going that way. Well, this is the intersection on the way to that target. If that target no longer exists, well, then the brain defaults to the ball. Well, look at that. Now you just pulled it low left. And you're thinking, well, I didn't want to do that. Well, what was the original focus? I was too preoccupied with my ball contact. And then you default to the ball, you come over the top. That's supposed to happen. That's a good swing. Your body, you're not defective. That's really important. You can tell your wife, Sean said, hey, I'm not defective, honey. So if you stay with your shot, you're going to have much higher chances of pulling that off. Now, let's say you did stay with your shot, but you kind of hit it a little thin. Well, guess what happens? So the brain says, yep, I stayed with my shot, but that was just a little bit on the low part of the club. Well, in these studies that these particular individuals have done for us, an amazing gift, right? One of those studies, they put a human brain under a PET scan, a PET scan, to see what parts of the brain were lighting up when they were doing a specific task. And because they were all wired up, they couldn't do a very big task. So they just did a short putt. And they had a pro and an amateur, just so it's not too biased in one direction, perform that short putt. So over and over again, both of them sank that putt. The amateur and the pro had a specific brain, a pattern that appeared. Parts of the brain were lighting up. And then they looked at the brain scans and they were going, hey, those are pretty similar. The same parts of the brain are lighting up, except for the pros was just a little bit more funneled, a little bit more organized. However, they looked at, hey, wasn't that the same stroke the whole time? To the naked eye, it may be. But then they look at the brain scans again, they go, well, how come not one pattern repeated exactly the same way, one from the next? They were all slightly different, which means we're built for adaptation. We're not built for repetition. This video right here is going to save you hours upon hours of frustration of looking and barking up the wrong tree. So you have a task. I want to draw green to red. Line up on red, release to green. Okay, that feels like I'm going in the right direction. I'm going to green, going to green. Yes, I felt a nice release to green. But that was like a quarter groove low. And my foot kind of rolled a little to the outside and all that. So what's going to happen is your conscious mind is going to receive glimpses of what's transpired. If you look at some of the research that's been done with the focus band, right? You heard that from FlightScope. The guys at FlightScope are distributing this focus band, and Jason Day has done some work with that. And they've noticed that the automated systems of our body, the brain can occupy 12 million bits of information per second, whereas the conscious part of the brain can only do about 40 bits of information per second, which could be, hey, put the elbow here, then what? Shoot, I don't know, hit the ball. So whenever you're distracting yourself with body parts, your performance will plummet. Versus when you stay on a task, you get the opportunity to evolve within that task. So if my task is cut grass with the sole of the club, well, when I'm cutting grass with the sole of the club, and I've perfected the art of doing that. These are my dandelions in disguise, by the way. So I'm just cutting grass back and through. Cut, 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 cut. You see my head bobbing up and down? Yep, that's my body negotiating gravity. And notice how I'm cutting the grass beautifully. So I start walking. I can see where that club is passing, and I'm just cutting through dandelion stems. So I had 3 nicely struck shots there, and then I can start focusing on where I want those shots to go. So I'm going to have a very specific direction to where I want to cut, but I'm basically perfecting the art of cutting grass with the sole of my club. And I have evolved in that. So you say, okay, I'm hitting the fade from red to green. So left edge of that, ball a little forward. I'm going in that direction. This feels good. Deliver that way, deliver that way. Hey, right edge of red. I wanted left edge of red. Well, why did I push it? Well, I can go on video and analyze that sucker from here to 10 ways to Sunday. I'll never be able to repeat that exact swing. So what's the point? The very next swing, if I reload, I'm going to go left of red back to green. There. That fits. Left of red, left of red. Hey, look at that. Now I'm an inch off from where I want to go. So I could stand here for the next 20 lifetimes and hit that same shot, and I will never hit that same shot twice. I can't tell you how important this is. So you get on the golf course. That's where I want to go. When I'm going there, I get a beautiful weight shift. I get a beautiful movement of my body out of the way, and I get that nice release, low effort whip in that direction. Then I evaluate. I go, okay, I stayed with that. Yeah, the effort level was nice and low. The rhythm was nice. And then, okay, let's find that ball, find the next target, and pursue throughout the round. At the end of the round, you've calculated, hey, I stayed with 30 out of 36 of those swings. And the other ones, I really tried my best to stay with it, but I got distracted by that whippersnapper in the bush, or I got distracted a bit by that indecision over, what kind of a shot I was going to hit. So there's always those things. So now you know what to really work on in order for you to score better and manage yourself better on the golf course. When I started doing this, it was really scary at first. I barely had 10 out of 36 that I was really staying with, only because that particular hole, I really liked the shot. You step up to a hole and you go, oh, I love this hole. I always do so well in this hole. And it's just like magically releases itself into that hole. And other times you get there and you're going, I don't know, man. It's like, I don't see where this is going. And how do you hit this shot, and you get a little bit, befuddled as to what strategy you're going to use to hit that shot. And those are the ones that you usually pay the price on. So once you stay with this kind of strategy, then all of a sudden you start to go from 10 to mid-teens to low 20s. So I staggered at 22 average out of 36 full swings, and then I realized, well, I got to change my behavior on the golf course. I got to stop talking a little earlier, and I got to organize myself a little bit better so that when I get to the ball, I am really clear about what I'm about to do. Then that's when I started going to the low 30s. And my goal is to get to, if I was going to play a 72-hole event, I would want that to be 65 and up as far as me staying with that target. And that's where your goal should be as well. So I hope you enjoyed that. And hey, leave some comments below and let's have some fun with it. All the best.